Hello and welcome to Don't Evolve Me, the place like Ash, Custer's Pikachu. We don't evolve, we just level up here with Miym to talk Daredevil, Born Again, Episode 9, the finale, the title, the very misleading title,
Yeah, I know. Oh man,
Straight
can we
to
can we talk
Hell.
about that right away? When I saw the
Yes, we
title,
are.
I was
We
like,
are.
"Holy shit, we were right." I got so hyped when I saw the title, and it was just like, oh, it was just such a troll.
I saw the title afterwards, so like I watched the episode and I'm like, okay, this is we'll talk about like it's not
I feel
exactly
like,
what I
yeah,
was expecting, but I'm like it's more or less what I was expecting, except for the whole
mm,
giant shift,
yeah,
mid-season shift that they did. But yeah, I saw the title afterwards and I was just like, you're so close.
yeah.
You are so close to the greatest idea you could have had for the finale.
I saw the
You're
title right before I watched it, so I was just like going into it like, oh yeah, and then within like the first 5 minutes, I was like, it's
no.
not happening, is it? I thought we
Could have
figured,
had it. Could
yeah.
have had Muse, Daredevil fight in hell,
Hmm.
Daredevil meeting Mephisto, making the deal, Punisher doing the
Hmm.
street fighting. I mean, we got
Hmm.
that part of it.
Yeah, we'll talk about that.
So, yeah, all right.
All right.
Daredevil
Okay. Not
straight to
disappointing.
hell,
Yeah, disappointing
metaphorically,
note.
not literally, like we were hoping and suggesting.
Hmm.
All right, let's get into it. What happened? Flash. Oh, sorry. Flashback confirmation. Vanessa hired Bullseye to kill Foggy Nelson. It was confirmed. I don't really know if we needed that confirmation, but I guess like confirmation's good.
Yeah, I mean, we were talking about her last week about how we were wondering if like there was going to be any payoff, and they did confirm it, but there was not any payoff.
Yeah, it was like okay, cool. I guess
Yeah,
they're not lying.
yeah,
That was like the only thing I got from that scene. I was like, is there any more to this? It seems like
mm,
something else is there, but really it just was kind of an explanation. Not really. It was like,
mm.
okay, she
I feel like
hired him.
Vanessa's basically, yeah, she's basically just like an extension of Kingpin. Like she never really got like her own anything. Like anything that she does
Yeah.
is just kind of attributed to Kingpin anyways, so like it doesn't really matter what she
Like
did if she was the
this
one that did it.
like she's more or less carrying out the sins of Kingpin rather than like carrying out her own sins
Yeah, making her
other
own.
than
Yeah,
cheating.
right, right, which is apparently the worst sin.
Well, according to Wilson, yeah.
Yeah,
Poor poor Alex got the shorthand of that deal.
yeah, the real, yeah,
I mean, he wasn't the cheater, but like, how dare you
yeah. I mean, he
sleep
was
with a
like,
married woman of a convicted man?
yeah, he wasn't even like convicted at the time. Didn't she say he disappeared for 4 years?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so like, is that even cheating at that point? Like
Um,
realistically, like, probably
I mean,
dead.
I think he was convicted after season 3.
Yeah, but I think was it were they talking? I thought they were talking about something after like the Echo show or something.
Oh
Where
yeah,
they
after like Echo, he like
went
disappeared.
on his, yeah, apparently for 4 years is what she said, and that's when he had the
Was it four
affair.
years? This seems
I'm
like
pretty
way
sure.
too long of a
Yeah,
time.
I feel like vaguely remember her saying 4 years, but I could be wrong. But I'm usually
I
pretty good with numbers like that.
When it comes to the MCU like current timeline, I have like no idea what's fucking going on because it feels like in the
Mm,
movies and the shows, barely any time is passing since the whole blip. But like it's like been 4 or 5 years, so I'm just like,
yeah. Like, are
I
we
don't
caught back
know.
up with the timeline in the MCU now because they jumped ahead and like they were in the
Yes,
future, and now are we
I
just
don't know
like
if
caught back up with present?
I don't know. I feel like we're maybe a year off. I don't
Yeah,
know these days. I
yeah,
barely knew like before the whole blip.
right.
And then Homecoming came out, changed the whole timeline, and then they started doing time traveling shit. And I don't. Does
Who
anyone
knows?
know? Now it's
Kevin Feige.
multiverse. I don't know, man. I don't know. All right, moving on. Bullseye escapes, and Matt is hospitalized.
Mm,
That's about it.
yep.
Fisk takes, or he cuts power off to the city, and they basically go into martial law. Did they really explain why Wilson Fisk took the power off in the city? I don't. I never really
I think it was
understood that.
like some sort of lockdown procedures they had for the city.
Mm,
And by like shutting everything down, it also stops like communication from people and
mm,
stuff like that, like as a containment thing.
right.
Like I don't know if that's really like a level that they go to or like something that they would do
Yeah,
like
it
in real
seemed.
life, but I guess that was my understanding of his justification for it.
Yeah, I guess like if you're going into martial law area where you're more or less becoming like the city czar, the city like controller, and you have the ability to turn off the power in one little press of a button or
Mm.
press of a lever. Like it makes sense, but like it just I never understood like why are you turning off the power? Why are you going into martial law? The why part still is like because you got shot by one man. Like Bullseye is
Yeah,
that deadly,
yeah,
but I don't know how shutting off the it just seems like all of a ruse.
yeah. Well, I think that was definitely it. Like it was it's meant to help him grab more power, basically, by doing that.
Yeah,
It puts him, head above, and then afterwards he gets to come out and claim about how he saved the city and all this stuff and try to play the
right.
hero.
Yeah, like that part I get. I just didn't. I don't understand like the why. It's just like I'm gonna
Mm.
do all these things. It's like okay,
I
all
was
right.
here. Oh,
Fisk sends his hitman or his basically his right hand. I'm gonna get shit done, man. Cashman to kill Matt Murdock. Matt Murdock senses this, and he walks away,
yeah.
and
See, I'm
that's it.
assuming. Yeah, I'm assuming that they made it seem like some time had passed already
Yeah.
because they said that he was like unconscious for a while.
Hmm.
So I was getting the vibe that it had been a couple days, but that doesn't really make sense with the fact that why would you wait a couple days to shut down the city after something like that? I feel like it'd
Yeah.
be a pretty immediate response. So I'm a little confused about that. And
I got
also like
hours.
yeah, also like our complaints from or discussions from last week, a little
Hmm.
disappointed with how easily he just shrugs off
Uh,
a sniper shot to the chest.
which I think is like kind of when it comes to any like superhero getting shot to the chest, it's just kind of like, okay, he's probably not dead.
Yeah, I
Like,
mean, I
there's not a
definitely
whole
didn't
lot
think,
of
yeah,
consequence to it.
yeah, I didn't think he was gonna die, but I mean, you would hope it would at least be somewhat debilitating for a time, and it
Well,
didn't really seem to have that much.
we can't have cool fight scenes, Brandon, if he's debilitated. Like,
See,
come on now.
but then why shoot him in the chest? They could have just like
Well,
shot him in the arm or something.
dramatic
Yeah,
effect.
yeah. See, I don't like any of that.
This
Like,
is
if
a.
you're gonna do it, do it. It would have been way more interesting if like he
I'm
was
with you. By the way,
actually like. I know
I'm
you're
with
just
you.
playing devil's advocate, but yeah, it would have been way more interesting if he was like actually incapacitated. Like Punisher had to go and save him from the hospital, kind of
Or if
thing.
he died
Yeah. Oh yeah. That too.
momentarily and went to literal hell, straight to it, fought
Mm.
Muse, made a
Made a
deal
deal
with
with the
the
devil.
devil, came
Comes
back,
back. Yeah.
reborn again.
Daredevil reborn. Born again.
Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm just saying it was there. Like it
Yeah.
was
Maybe
there.
that's how season 2 ends, Jake.
We
Maybe we're just at it because maybe that's supposed to be the end of
no,
the
this
show.
was the moment.
I agree. Like you
But
can't do
yeah.
it again.
All right, we'll get into it. Let's get
Yeah,
through
yeah, yeah,
what
yeah, yeah.
happened. All right.
I'm
So
holding my
Murdoch
notepad.
escapes home, finds that Frank Castle is waiting there for him, and does the whole like, you're the last person I suspected, which makes sense in the sense of like, there's been like a year has passed, but for us audience members, it's like, who else would be there?
Mm-hmm.
You're the only one who showed up in the show this season.
Right. Out of
Everybody else would have been out left. Yeah.
all of the potential people they could have had, he's the only one. So it was definitely going to be Punisher.
Should have been
Which I'm
fucking
not.
Star Lord.
Yeah. I mean, that would be crazy.
It would have been just
He's
like
just back in New York. Yeah. I mean, I'm glad it was. I mean, like, don't get me wrong. I love the Punisher, but
mm,
yeah, definitely was pretty obvious where the story was going.
yeah. Um, I'm just thinking like Miss Marvel is like the only other hero that would have made sense just based off like the writing of the show because she's the only one that's been mentioned
Yeah.
several times in one episode.
Mm.
Hey, did you know that Miss Marvel is the hero of New Jersey? Like, you
Great.
really like Miss Marvel for whatever
Yeah.
reason. Why is that?
Yeah.
All right. So Matt Murdock goes home. Frank Castle's there, pretty much warns him that, hey, they're coming to kill you, Matt Murdock. He puts on a suit and they brutally fight the AVTF, Anti Vigilante Task Force.
Mm-hmm.
It was a really good fight. You have basically Frank be like, I'm going to kill the way I kill. You have him just blasting people with a shotgun. Matt Murdock just being like, no, what are you doing? As he's, you know,
Fighting
Billy
first life
clubbing
too.
people,
Yeah.
clubbing people in the head with like blood being sprayed out of the other end. So it's just
Mm.
like, yeah, you kill him, but dude, you're giving him like brain trauma to the point where like it's going
Mm.
to take months, if not years, to recover. It's like it's not better. Like,
Right.
how dare you?
It's shades of
Smack.
violence. Yeah. Yeah.
It's like
It's all violence at the end of the day.
it's like, are you? I don't know. Arguably, Frank Castle's ethically a little bit like there's an argument that Frank Castle's more ethical than Matt Murdock. Just there is an argument. Is
Yeah.
it better to
Like
give
merciful
someone
in a way.
kill someone just straight up in the moment, or brutalize them to the point where it takes years of recovery?
Yeah, not to
Which
mention the
one's
mental
better?
trauma, yeah, the
Yeah, that
PTSD and stuff.
yeah, it's not much better, Matt.
Yeah.
I just had to make that point.
Ironically, I think Spider-Man's probably like, well, maybe not ironically, but the best hero at actually like fighting people without hurting them.
I had the thought of like, what if Spider-Man was in the room with all three of them?
Like trying to
One,
web people up while they're getting just murdered. Yeah.
you'd be freaking out, but I'm like, you can't do this with this group. It has to be Daredevil, or it has to be Deadpool.
Mm-hmm.
Like Deadpool's the one where he freaks out. Like that's the dynamic I want that from.
Yeah, the
But
extreme, yeah.
but yeah, Spider-Man can literally punch people's heads off, and like
Mm.
he's not doing the damage that these two are doing. He's pulling his punches like every
Yeah.
single time.
Mm-hmm.
All right. It is revealed that Cole North is the guy who killed White Tiger.
Mm-hmm.
Matt gets really tempted to kill him. He does not. So Frank Castle then kills a bunch of people trying to convince him. And again, we just select to brain trauma. I don't
And he
remember if
dies
he
anyway.
died.
Yeah, because
No,
the
yeah.
apartment blows up.
Oh,
Like
right.
grenade, and they jump out of the window. Yeah.
And he's dead anyway. So all
Yeah.
of that. Cole North, one of the big comic book characters from Chip Zdarsky's run. Actually, Chip Zdarsky had asked, like, hey, your original Daredevil character, like, he was in the show, but he wasn't like,
Your character at all.
yeah. And he's just like, what happened? He's like, you know what? I'm just, as soon as I leave the project, it's no longer my character. They do whatever they want. It's just cool to see him in the show. But honestly, I'm just happy he showed up because now I get paid.
Mm.
And that was it. And I was like, fair.
Respectable. Yeah.
I mean, fair enough. And like he talked more about it, but he's just like, you know what? My character is safe in the story that it's in. What happens afterwards is it's on them. But my character that I wrote he's safe in the book. Like that character is there. But I also get paid now. So, it's whatever. And I'm like, that's again, fair. It's like,
Absolutely.
cool. So yeah, grenade, they go tumbling down. Perfectly fine. And guess who shows up to put lights on them?
The only other person that hasn't been in the
It's
show.
not
again.
Foggy Nelson. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah.
Ellen Page, very
Karen
conveniently.
Page.
Did I say Ellen Page?
Yeah. You're watching too much Last of Us.
I am. Karen Page shows up very conveniently, and they all take a lovely car ride away from there. Paige and Matt try to find out afterwards that Fisk is making New York into a city-state. Frank goes after the AVTF at Red Hook, gets captured, brutally beats a lot of those police officers. Those police officers being like, we're one of you. We're doing your message. And him just being like, do you even know what the fuck I am?
Mm-hmm.
Which is very like, I feel like politically speaking, it feels like it's just talking directly to the police that are like taking up the Punisher logo. Like, we are the Punisher. It's like, you don't even know who the character is. You don't understand him. Very just one-on-one.
Yeah. You should be following Captain America, just like Punisher said.
Yeah.
Not him.
Sheila exposes Gallo, who's, more or less trying to
Stop
stop
Kingpin.
Kingpin. Kingpin brutally does his best mountain impression and squashes his head in.
Wild. I
Just,
sat up in my seat when that happened. I did not expect
it
that.
was,
Not like that.
I like, as soon as like the head crushing came, it was just like, oh, we're getting it, aren't we?
Yeah.
And just,
Not only was that a great head crush, that might have been one of the best head crushes I've seen, like in horror movies too, as far as just like bare hand. Like that was brutal. Like his
well,
jaw comes off, his skull caves in.
it's probably one of the most brutal. I think, I still think Auburn from
Yeah,
Game of
that's
Thrones is probably up there. It still probably
it's
beats
really
that.
personal, yeah, and the eyes going in through the eyes makes it a lot
Hmm.
worse. That's fair.
But it's definitely a number two. It's definitely this is like okay. And then the
Mm.
YouTube they were showing like behind the scenes and like how they made that scene work. Like that was fun to watch. It's like okay,
Oh, I
god
didn't see that.
damn,
Yeah,
those the prosthetics was on point. I'm like that. Like if I was a character and I had to die, I'm like that's a pretty brutal fucking way that I would.
getting your head crushed by Kingpin. Hell yeah, I
I'm
go
like
out that way.
pretty dope. Fisk then declares martial law officially, outlaws vigilantes, imprisons several vigilantes, including swordsman and Frank Castle, among several other people. Heather Glenn now works under Fisk out of just
Mm.
nowhere. She is like, what is it, the Department of Mental Health
Yeah, the head of the
or
department.
something?
Yeah, something along those lines.
Yeah. Matt Murdock is now working with a resistance group with Cherry, Karen Page, and a bunch of other people, a bunch of
Yeah,
other good cops. I think I forget the one lady's detectives that
yeah, the
she
one
was
that,
there.
yeah, the one that handled the hostage situation at the bank.
The one with the very basic like police
Yeah,
detective talk.
yeah,
Yeah,
definitely had
that
no
the
time to be like established as a character at all. I think
she is.
she's also the same person that's in Peacemaker, right? That plays like the cop that gets taken over by the one of the butterflies. Ends up being like the
Maybe,
boss. I think that's the
maybe
same girl. I'd have to look it up, but I'm pretty sure it is.
she probably has more of a personality in that show than
Oh
this
yeah,
one.
yeah,
This
even
one,
as
she's just like detective police chick. Like that.
yep.
Like that's it. Like that's her character.
That's her name too, I think.
Detective police chick.
Yeah.
What is it? In our D&D group, single white lady or something. Like it's just every time like, all right, single female white lady coming through. We make jokes sometimes, they're not all sexist. Okay. Moving on. All right. That is what happened in the show.
Yeah.
I'm sure we can talk about more detail. I do remember just like piercing through this like today, some scenes. Like these cops are just randomly like shooting kids in the fucking street.
Yeah, it pulls his
There's
hat downs like, oh, he's a mass vigilante.
yeah, some bullshit like that. Bunch of people rioting. What do
Mm.
we think of this episode?
So, I have some thoughts.
Okay.
So the first thing I'll say is I had one thought going through my head the entire time I was watching this episode,
Yep.
and that was, why wasn't this like 4 episodes ago?
Yeah.
Why didn't stuff start to happen 4 or 5 episodes ago?
There
Why,
is
like
there is
it
an
made,
answer.
yeah, there is an answer. It's not a good answer. It's not an
No.
answer that makes me happy. But
No.
yeah, I mean that's what I was thinking the whole time, was just that finally it feels like something is happening.
Mm.
Things are moving, you know. And it was frustrating, like bittersweet, because this is the season 1 finale now, and it very much like felt like a mid-season finale. Like
It
you mentioned
was
that earlier, like it
yeah.
was designed to be a mid-season thing, right? Because it's
Mm.
cut in half, and it doesn't feel very good to leave like that because nothing gets resolved at all. You just get like a bunch more problems, and then that's it. It's like,
They
what's the conflict? What's the conflict? Here's the conflict. End of show.
they like montage like a whole bunch of shit at the end where it's like, wait, what?
Mm,
They're in a city state and there's a resistant movement and that okay. Like
yep.
I'm excited for season 2, but the fuck? We get like two cool fight scenes and that's fucking it.
Yep.
Um
Like,
all right.
yeah, like maybe 3. I guess the Muse one wasn't bad.
No. I mean, like in this episode alone, we get
Oh
like
yeah.
2 cool fight scenes, and that's it.
I don't even know if you could say 2 of them.
At least
One.
one. One
Yeah.
great
Fight scene
scene.
with the Punisher and Daredevil is good.
It was, yeah. All right,
Yeah.
I got some questions. Not a whole lot of
Okay.
questions, but I got some questions. Which ending is better? The ending that we came up together, or the ending that we got?
Oh, well, I mean, absolutely the ending that we came up with.
We
I
totally
will
set
say
ourselves
that this,
up. We set ourselves up for
yeah,
disappointment. Masterpiece,
absolutely.
Brandon. Masterpiece.
Yeah, yeah, we'll get into that. But I do think that it was better than what I was like worried it was going to be.
True. True.
So it
I
kind
get,
of fell in the middle of my spectrum, I guess.
I think I was expecting more just because I just kept hearing people talk about the finale. Oh, it's breathtaking, masterful, you know. And I was expecting this really well written story that like it was shit season, shit writing, and then just somehow somebody came in with like a really wonderfully told finale that wrapped everything up
Hmm.
with a really cool fight scenes that we've been getting throughout the season. Like that's what I was expecting.
Mm.
I wasn't expecting the Mephisto going straight to hell. I knew that wasn't
No.
going to happen, even with the misleading title.
Yeah, goddamn. It's like
Uh,
they're trolling us.
it seems like it, but I don't hate it. It sets us
Mhm.
up for something exciting. I really like where they got to. I really feel like this could have been a lot better. I feel like this could have been like the Empire Strikes Back ending, the Infinity War ending that I think they were trying to set us up for. It's just they didn't do a good job. Obviously, the people who were took over originally were making a show that was very MCU tied in, but just the story wasn't well written. So the people that took over like they did episode 1, which was excellent, got me and you pumped.
Hmm.
Last episode was pretty solid, got us really excited for the finale, and then did this, which is exciting.
Hmm.
It's
Hmm.
just for a season as a whole, I'm like, it
Masterpiece.
it's more or less setting up another season. Like it's like, hey, hold
Yep.
on, we got something more exciting. But here, we'll give you the Daredevil Punisher like fight scene that you've all wanted.
Yep.
I'm like, okay, okay. Like, I guess we'll have to wait a whole another year to get the
Hmm.
Daredevil show that we were hoping for.
Right. Actually,
Even
yeah.
though, even though we got the Daredevil show that we were hoping for originally, like how many years ago? I
Hmm.
don't know. All right. Question number 2. Was getting shot consequential enough?
No.
Because it did hurt him. He was holding his shoulder here, and
Here and there, yeah. And then in some fights, he was totally fine seeming, and then other times he's like, "Oh, I'm dying."
my
Yeah.
shoulder, Karen, look at it. Take care
Yeah.
of me.
Yeah. Yeah. I was not.
His shoulder was hurting a lot when she was around. I'm just gonna say.
Yeah. 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 For the sympathy.
Yeah, as soon as they were in the hospital and like they were all kind of like surrounded him, Heather included, which we have we have to talk about Heather.
Hmm.
Just the getting shot and like then like a couple hours, I thought it was like a couple hours later, he's running for his life or walking away for his life, and then
Hmm.
immediately puts on the suit and just like starts beating the shit out of people. It's just like, what the fuck was the point?
See, yeah, right. That's exactly what
Why
I was
get
thinking.
shot? What like
It would have been
what
more
is that?
interesting to see the Punisher like having to actually protect him.
Right.
Like protect Matt Murdock, not Daredevil. Like he's not in
Or
any form of, I would have been totally okay with that.
yeah, to the point where like Matt couldn't, he took the time off and Punisher is stepping in or other heroes had to step
Yeah.
in. Like that would have been at least interesting.
Hmm.
Um but this whole like I'm going to get shot and then it doesn't really inhibit him. It's just like what's the point of getting shot? I don't get it. It just
I
I
do.
know that the writing is
I have a little theory
Okay.
about
Let me
something,
let me
but I'll let
finish
you finish.
this.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I just from my perspective, I don't get why shoot him because the whole like, oh, I stood up for, my enemy, Bullseye's calling me out. I'm like, okay, I get that point. But there wasn't a follow through either. Bullseye like straight up fucked off this whole episode.
Mm.
We saw like a
I have a theory.
okay, let me hear it. Let me hear your
All right.
theory.
So, I read someplace about some Bullseye lore in the
Mm,
comics and stuff, and there is one point in the comics where Bullseye becomes like obsessed with Daredevil and
okay.
thinks that he is like the perfect being essentially, and wants to like follow him around everywhere and
Mm-hmm.
like become him. And Matt's like, leave me alone, whatever. But I think that that's what this is setting up. I think that that's why he took the bullet. I think that's why Bullseye just left instead of, because why would he leave? He shot Matt Murdock on accident. Okay, well, you could still shoot Kingpin and everyone else
Right.
right there. There's no reason for him to leave unless, like, it was like an epiphany moment for him. When he saw Matt jump in front of Kingpin, it was like, oh,
Mm-hmm.
this guy is basically Jesus to him. And because it
Yeah.
also showed at the end, it showed Bullseye like in street clothes or whatever, and I'm pretty
Mm-hmm.
sure he was in their old office.
Hmm.
It looked like
Okay.
it was their old office with him and
Yeah.
Foggy, so it's like he's looking for him. That's
So
kind
it's
of the vibe I was getting. That it was setting up a story for Bullseye.
it's still lazy.
Yeah. Oh, I agree. It should have still had consequences. It would have been still totally worth
Yeah.
it to have the consequences of it. They still could have done it and had him be out of commission.
Or just like because he gets clipped more or less, and I think like cool, but it should have been more.
Mm.
Like he should have like shot at least somebody else in that room, like
Mm.
Vanessa or like maybe Kingpin gets hit too. Just something. To me, it's just like you hit him once, and then there's no consequence. It's lazy, in my opinion. But I do think that makes sense. You know,
That's my theory at least. I
it's a
don't
good
love it,
theory.
but yeah. I mean, it could be. I'm interested to see how that could play out. Like, imagine like
Mm,
Bullseye trying to join the Resistance and help Matt fight against Kingpin now. But Matt, I mean, like the conflict between him and Bullseye. Obviously, he killed Foggy.
hmm
He doesn't want him to help, but at the same time, how useful would Bullseye be to something like that? So,
Yeah, I we'll see. I guess like there is a
mm,
whole second part of the show that may or may less like there might be more to come.
I mean, I
But
hope so.
yeah, it should have been this episode, at least like from the Matt
There should have been
standpoint.
more in this episode. At least there should have been some resolution of something in this episode. I don't know if they thought maybe that reveal of Vanessa shooting Foggy was supposed to be this big, like, oh my God, I can't believe it moment.
Yeah,
That was supposed to be the big resolution, but like, who cares?
yeah, yeah. They just shouldn't have been shot unless something happened. All right,
Yeah.
the Daredevil Punisher fight didn't meet the mark.
Uh, for ultraviolence, I'll
Just
give
in
it.
just in general for like top
Yeah,
fights for Devil.
I'm going through the list here. So
Okay.
for ultraviolence, I think, I mean, this is more brutal than Deadpool and Wolverine, right? Oh,
No, I don't think so.
you don't think so? See, I think so because these are like real people, right?
Right. Yeah.
That like most of like the violence in Deadpool and Wolverine is stuff that happens to Deadpool and Wolverine.
I think you could say that this is the most violent like the MCU has ever been. I think this is
Yeah,
fair to say that.
that's what I'm getting at. Yeah, that's what I'm
Yeah.
getting at. And then I'll say this. I don't know what it was about their ultraviolence, but there
Mm-hmm.
was something about it that it was like almost too much to where it made it look like fake. It's like they were overdoing some of the blood, the CGI blood spurting out everywhere and stuff like that. Like it kind of took you out of it a little bit. Like the
A little
Punisher
bit.
show was so like also brutal, but like
Mm-hmm.
realistically brutal, and that's what made it like hit harder.
Yeah.
And when you make it kind of cartoony like this, it does kind of take some of that edge off.
It was pretty cartoony. Like it was just like, look how violent they are with like every
Yeah,
little, and then of
he's
course
just
Matt
like
going
stabbing
like,
people in the throat and
Frank,
stuff.
no, and then just
Yeah,
blood.
I'm pretty sure he shot somebody through with his
He did.
thing again. Yeah.
He did. So
uh,
I really like I
oh, I
think the
did like the
fight.
scene though.
I
Yeah.
think the fight scene, specifically that fight scene, really made the episode. If that fight scene did not land, I don't think this is a good finale. I don't think
No.
I have good marks on this finale. It's really it made the show, and I think I can't say it's the. I don't even know if it's the best fight scene of this show in particular. It's either that or the Bullseye Daredevil scene from the beginning.
Mm.
But I don't know if it's the top three, even in the show, because Bullseye, Kingpin, uh, Daredevil from season 3 was really good, but then you have Bullseye Daredevil before that was also really good, and then of
Mm.
course you have the hallway fights from season 1 and season 2, on top of the fact that Punisher Kingpin
Yeah.
prison fight is also way up there. It's I think it's in consideration.
Yeah. I think
I just don't think it's I don't think it's
the
number one.
no, I don't think it did, especially with like the cartoony ultra violence. I mean, if that's how they want to go with it, then like I'm fine with it, you know. But
Same.
I guess let's stay consistent, I guess. You know, like some stuff would be like really brutal, and then it's like if you want to go for that like, comic, you know, big blood splattering kind of stuff, like that's
Hmm.
cool. Like commit to it then, I guess is what I'd have to say.
Yeah, yeah. Especially you get shot and then big blood splatter, but you're perfectly fine, but everybody else is just dead.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
Still,
Kingpin's suit was covered in blood.
a lot more blood, a lot more violence.
Yeah.
It's like I'm cool with it. I don't know.
Mm.
I would much prefer the writing of Netflix than the violence that this show brings.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think it makes the trade off worth it by any means
Hmm.
because I still think that like the original Punisher show and stuff was more brutal.
In
Like
ways,
as
yeah.
far as yeah, if like that's the mark because I think that's kind of like that's the highlight of the fight, right? Is just like
Hmm.
Punisher killing all the cops over and over
Yeah.
again.
Yep.
I mean, Daredevil's just doing his Daredevil things for the most part, holding his shoulder.
Complaining.
Yeah. So I mean, like the fight is the ultra violence, which is good, but I do think that the original Punisher show did the ultra violence better. It's just
Yeah.
more real,
More real and
grounded.
it grounded, and it wasn't like the highlight wasn't the violence itself, it was the meaning of the fight. You
Mm.
know, like I think again, season 3 of Daredevil, like that fight was great, not because of the action itself, but just the personal storytelling. This one was an escape scene that ended up with a grenade,
Yep.
and like
Which
there
I
was some.
go ahead.
Go on,
I was gonna say I think the grenade is kind of a cop out, right? It kind
a
of
little
like
bit,
gives them an excuse to kill everybody because they were all gonna
yeah,
die anyways.
but
So it kind of
also,
makes all of it irrelevant.
yeah, a little bit, yeah. It kind of was
Yeah.
the cop out because it was like, oh, should we kill him? Should we not kill him? Grenade. Okay, I guess he has
Oh,
to
yeah. I
die.
guess yeah. You don't have to
Nothing
decide
you would
now.
have. Yep. Yeah. All right. Cold North, killer of White Tiger. Does that reveal do anything?
No. Once again,
Yeah.
there's just like no care. Like maybe if they would have been like investigating it more, like especially since they just dropped like he found that bullet casing right away. Like we knew it was
Mm.
just one of the cops. Like it didn't matter like which one.
Mm.
Yeah, they're all the same. Like none of them had moments. I guess the one guy, the main cop asshole that gets
I
his
thought it
arm
was to
busted
be
and stuff.
him.
Yeah, right. Like that was the only one that had like any sort of like actual stakes
Mm.
behind him. Like Cole Norris was just like a character in name. We didn't see him do anything.
Really? Yeah. It's for me. It was just like cool. He was the killer.
Mm.
Does it matter? It doesn't matter. Yeah. All right. Frank and Paige. They came back. Is their cameo a little too much?
Yeah,
Like in at
yeah,
least like believability or even storytelling wise, like, aha, they made it back.
yeah, a little bit. I mean, they didn't have to say the Punisher was in another country or whatever.
Hmm.
I mean, they didn't have to go like that. Um, I like the idea of it makes sense like with Karen calling Punisher and being like,
Yeah.
"Hey," because Daredevil's not going to reach out to him. Obviously, Matt's
Hmm.
not going to reach out to him. So like that part makes sense. But yeah, it definitely felt, especially like that part where she pulls up in the car. Like, were we supposed to applaud when
Yeah.
she got out of the car? Like,
It
oh my
seems
God,
like
it's
it.
Karen Page.
Like we're
Like,
in the
yeah,
theater, just like, yeah, go
yeah.
Karen,
That's what it felt like they wanted. But
go
I don't,
Ellen, go.
I don't understand why she just like wasn't a character in the show. Like, why did they have to? I guess because she wasn't in the rebooted one, and they wanted to bring her
Yeah,
back for that, so that's why. But it just makes it feel
yeah.
very cameo like.
Well, the characters we got weren't really characters, like at
Yeah,
all. Like
aside from
Cherry,
Heather, I guess.
Cherry's just like, you know what? Make him Mike from Breaking Bad, and that's it.
But way less cool.
Way less cool. Make him personable. Matt, like, don't do Daredevil stuff.
Yeah,
Like,
for even though he knew him as Daredevil the whole time.
and like,
Like,
what was it? Kristen too was just like, make her get mad when Matt starts not doing his lawyer stuff. Like
hmm,
that was her character. Heather even barely was a character. Like make her question him and
a very
you
frustrating
know
character to watch.
just make her yeah. It was just okay.
Yeah,
Like we didn't get really any characterization of these
yeah.
characters.
There's Daredevil, there was Fisk, and I mean that was pretty much it.
Don't don't forget about wait, what was his name? Daniel
Oh,
Blake.
Muse, yeah,
No,
yeah.
not
Oh,
Muse.
oh
Daniel.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I do. I
Tony
will say,
Soprano
yeah.
Jr.
One of the highlights of the show. I'll give him that. When he is on screen, especially like his slow descent you see throughout the season, I
Hmm.
am here for it. I really liked at the end when he's in the city council and he's just like full on mafia. He's got his chest hair out and the
Oh
gold
yeah,
chain, and he's just dressed like Tony Soprano. And I was like, all right, he's all in now.
he
I
uh
love it.
he shows up later in the outline. I have a spot
Okay,
for him.
okay, sorry, jumping the
No,
gun.
you're good. You're
You
good. You're
brought him
good. I did. I did.
up.
Frank versus police inspired by Punisher. On point or too corny?
Oh my God, so frustrating. I was like yelling at my TV. Why the whole he just walks in there and gets caught immediately is so frustrating. Like that is
I
like how contrived do you have to be? Like
I'm, I'm gonna say too corny. They could have
yeah.
made that like there was no build up. It was just kind of like what we expected, and it wasn't good. It was just okay, Frank. You're
Him
gonna
just
go do
walk,
this thing.
yeah, but just like walking into a trap immediately is just like so not the Punisher. So like the
Yeah.
only way that it makes sense is if like he did it on purpose, which I guess we'll find out in
Oh, don't you
his
just love that,
special.
dude? That's like the smartest scheme.
Yeah.
Getting caught on purpose, and
Hmm.
then just fucking around and pretending like that's your plan the entire lot, the
Yep.
entire time. Like
It's the
that
hindsight
is
play. Yeah.
that is like the play here.
Yeah. I think
Wait,
that's the
no, wait.
only.
That's the villain play. Fuck.
Yeah. Yeah.
Frank Castle's so confusing.
Yeah. They didn't even put him in a glass cage.
Oh, god damn it! I really hate.
I was very
Can I just
frustrated.
can I just enjoy bad writing?
Yeah. Yeah.
No, I can't. I'm sorry. All right. No,
Continuing with that, because with the Punisher scene, the like they had such a moment too where they could have had a cool part when he was captured and they were like torturing him.
mhm.
Like that was kind of a letdown too. Like Frank Bernthal, great actor, great acting, and not his fault. 100% the writing. Like he could have said so much more like profound things. I don't know. I don't even remember what he was saying. He could have
I
just said the quote from the comic book. He could have about don't you shouldn't be looking up to me. I'm not. You should
oh
be looking up
right.
to Captain America. Like
Mhm.
then they get to tie in some MCU stuff too. That would have been so
Yeah.
much better.
Sam Wilson, Captain America.
Yeah, yeah, obviously.
Mm. But yeah, no, I agree. It's just like you should be looking up to him. He's a role model. Like I'm just fucking killing people that you're
Yeah,
not taking care of.
yeah. I am not
I
justice.
yeah, and I'm just like, there's so much more. I'm like, you're trying to do a thing, but you're not doing it. You're half-assing it. There's no
Yep.
half-assing it. All right. Fisk declares martial law. Believable. too believable.
I mean, that was the most interesting like aspect of the show. Uh,
Yeah.
as far like it actually felt like there was something happening in the show aside from just like inconsequential fights. Because like when Daredevil's
Mm-hmm.
fighting with somebody, like he's not going to die, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so there really hasn't been any stakes on anything. It was like the first time it felt like there was actually some stakes.
Characters we don't care about.
Yeah, I mean,
White Tiger's niece,
yeah,
his girlfriend who doesn't like Daredevil.
yeah, yeah. I don't
Those
think so.
people in the bank. Miss Marvel's dad.
That's true. That's true. Got to give him some credit.
Kingpin himself was, at stake.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And so Matt, saved him with very little consequences.
Yep. Yep.
Okay, I feel like I'm trying to be an asshole here. Okay.
It wasn't that bad. It was fun to watch for the
It was
most
a
part.
fun, yeah.
There was some frustrating things. I think the most frustrating thing was the Punisher part for me. And I know it's probably going to be some thing in the back where he's like, "Oh yeah, I was trying to get caught" and stuff like that. But like, it was just such a dumb plan if that was his plan. Like, and also, why didn't they kill him?
That's it. Because
Yeah, worship
it's their
what
hero.
But still, okay. So maybe they don't kill him, but why does Fisk keep him alive?
That doesn't make sense either when you're
Yeah.
trying to kill, like, the lawyer Matt Murdock.
Yeah. You're like the anti-vigilante guy. You're gonna keep the Punisher alive. Like, what do you think you're gonna flip him or something? Like, what is the point of that?
Because
So he can
how are
escape.
you? How
So
are
he can
you?
escape. Yeah, that's why they kept him alive.
Just think of Scott Evil. What are you gonna do? Keep him alive? Oh, you're gonna, not watch his death. He's just gonna escape again.
Yep. Yeah.
And what happens?
Yep.
Frank Castle escapes.
Yep.
All right. Heather Glenn, Matt's girlfriend. She fucking betrays him, right? Like her taking the job with Fisk immediately after getting shot. After Matt also being like, if you get near him, like he's trying to get to you to get to me. Like has this warning, gets shot, saving him. She immediately takes the job after him declaring martial law. That's betrayal, right? Like there's no other way behind it.
Extreme stupidity. Although
Both.
to give Heather a little credit, at any point Matt could have attempted to explain more of the situation,
That's true.
but he did not.
I honestly don't care that like she betrayed him. I don't think like
I'm happier with her not in the picture, to be honest. But I know she's probably going to continue to be somewhat relevant.
fair. I agree, but like on her like from the relationship standpoint, they shouldn't be together. It's pretty clear. From like her betraying Matt, also, I'm like,
But he called out for Karen when he woke up. He betrayed her first.
oh, Matt.
Yeah.
Oh, Matt. Who's Karen? Well, I don't know. I did think it was just weird though, because like your boyfriend just got shot. Now he's like disappeared, and you're taking a job after like all this is happening. I don't know. I question Heather a little bit.
Yeah.
It just she's shady, man. I also
Yeah.
don't know. I don't know anything about her other than like she doesn't like vigilantes and she's shady.
Yeah, and she's from Boston?
Queens.
Get that wrong every time.
Can't trust anyone from Queens ever.
Yeah, just alienate that whole city.
You never know what type of insects they could wind up being. All right, Murdoch and crew, who will join for season 2?
Okay, so now we're getting into the good stuff, right? So if Spider-Man is not in season 2,
I don't think
which
he can
probably
be.
won't be,
Can't be. I don't think.
then how does any of this make any sense? How does Fisk shut down the city and declare martial law and start doing all this stuff without Spider-Man being involved?
Okay, so let's think about it from like a logical standpoint. Who
Yeah.
needs to be here fighting for the city?
Yeah.
Whoever had ties to New York. So let's do the countdown, okay? Daredevil, Punisher,
Mm.
obvious. Jessica Jones,
Yeah, all of the Defenders,
Luke
realistically.
Cage, Iron Fist, maybe. I think Iron Fist is the one that's like, he could be fucking off in a temple somewhere.
Yeah,
Like,
but like
okay.
Luke Cage is like born and bred New York.
Harlem.
Yeah.
Who else needs to be involved? Spider Man.
Hmm.
Miss Marvel, who also
Yeah,
was
I mean,
mentioned on the
especially
show.
she was mentioned, like hinted at
Um,
quite heavily.
you can be like, well, she's on Jersey City. It's like,
Mm.
Bucky Barnes, who is now a congressman for New York.
Okay, from
Uh,
Captain America.
Sam Wilson has ties to New York, also saved New York City in Falcon
Yeah,
and Winter Soldier.
realistically, like an evil kingpin taking over a massive city, you would think that that would get everybody from all of the American heroes involved.
Where the fuck is Thor, guys?
Yeah,
I'm just,
yeah. You know,
he
I
was
mean,
in New
where's
York once.
yeah, yeah, probably a couple times, right?
I'm trying to think who else would. I mean, it's a
Like the
decent
street level,
list.
yeah,
Oh, Hawkeye.
yeah, oh yeah,
Both of them.
yeah. I mean,
How are they
they
not
have
there?
right. They have the connection with Kingpin already.
I mean, you could also go, Nova from Black Widow. You could
Mm.
argue U.S. agents. You can
Yeah,
argue like the
like all of the
Thunderbolts.
Thunderbolts. Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Riri
They are like the
Williams.
American Avengers or like the
I
government's
mean, she's from
Avengers, right?
Chicago. Yeah, it's just like it just seems like this is very much a Avengers team up, Defenders team up type of. So,
If
who
we
are we
don't get
gonna
that,
get?
yeah, I don't know. I think we get the Punisher, we get the Ragtag Guru, and I
Mm,
don't know. I honestly don't know if we get anybody that we listed.
Maybe Luke. You think at least Luke Cage and Jessica Jones, right?
Yeah, I mean, I would be down for that. I'd be really down for that.
Like a Defenders
Especially,
team up
yeah,
with Punisher and.
that would be the. I could maybe excuse Spider-Man not being there if we actually got like the Defenders, but
Mm, I
that would
think
still be tough to swallow. I
that
don't know,
would
it's gonna
make
be tough to swallow no matter what.
Spider-Man would have to show up. I'm like Disney, make it work.
Yeah,
Like
figure it
it
out.
should happen.
Hmm.
Like you already have them from the movies. That shouldn't have happened. You made it happen. It was the biggest, probably one of the coolest fucking things
Yeah,
we've seen.
just fucking pay Sony all the money that they want. You're telling me you can't afford to pay them
Mm.
what they want? They're not doing anything
Also,
with Spider-Man.
how do you explain this? Like he's gets shoot up through the Secret Wars. Like how do you
Right.
explain
What?
Spider-Man not being there? Also,
Yeah,
like it's
unless his next movie
Kingpin.
is like another interdimensional. Like this is the perfect point, right? You
Mhm.
get like, a Kingpin can't be in a movie. Well, I guess Spider-Man can't be in a TV show, so I guess it just doesn't happen.
Maybe it doesn't end. Maybe what ends up happening is that there is a TV, not a TV, a movie with Daredevil, Punisher, and Spider Man that, you know, finishes up the storyline.
But we know that's not going to happen though, right? Because
I
there's this is a
know.
well, this is the first half of a two-part season. You know
Well,
that it's
it
going to get
doesn't.
resolved in
It
the second half of the season.
it doesn't mean I don't know. Actually, I also pretty sure Kingpin said he can't be in a movie, and
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Spider
Yeah,
Man can't
can't be in
be
a TV show.
TV
Yeah,
show, so they're just never destined to meet.
yeah,
I
it just
don't.
don't
I
make
don't
sense.
know. I don't know, man. All
Just
right.
throw money at it and make it happen. What are they doing with
Uh,
our money anyways?
are we excited for the switch up of the city being a city state and there's a resistant group? Are we excited for this?
I'm excited for it if it like is actually real and has consequences.
Just
You know,
immediately it gets undone. Season
yeah,
2,
right. Yeah, like
episode
see,
1.
yeah, that's the kind of vibes, that's the kind of stuff that they've done before. Like, and if it doesn't like this is something like this is like kind of the MCU problem, right? Is
Hmm.
that these things uh get scaled up so big all the time that there's no way that it wouldn't affect like the rest of the world to where, like we're saying, every MCU character would have some involvement in this, at least most of
Yeah,
them.
yeah.
And it's not feasible for that to happen. I mean, just like in comics, they find a way to do it
Hmm.
to to not have to include every hero into every story. But why does
They
it seem
just
so like fragmented in TV shows? Is it because they've worked so hard to build the MCU as this interconnected universe that we focus on that so much? It's all of the constant, everything is connected, whereas comics are just like a lot looser with their
yeah,
timelines and
I think it's
stories.
the fact that like comic books are a lot looser, so like you kind of just you tell your story, and if it doesn't make sense, the only people that's really going to whine or bicker are those who are reading every single one of those stories.
Hmm.
So, during crossover time, and all these different stories start to like mix together, that's when people start complaining because like it doesn't quite make sense because like this character is now doing all these things just so the like, and that's when people start complaining about like crossover events is like characters start doing weird things to make the stories work.
Hmm.
Um, but like in the movie universe or like you have set stories that all these people have watched, so if you're not on top of that and you add a story and you make it a character do something that is completely against like another story, it's a lot harder, it's a lot more work. I think it's
Hmm.
really doable. I think for a fan who's consumed all the content, for moviegoers to not have that consistency, it's just frustrating. So it's like, I am caught up. How are you not caught up? How are you not making this work? Like, it's hard, but it's not
Hmm.
that difficult. But it's also just a writing thing too. And I think this season is just like, we got to make this really good. We got to make this important. We got to do all these things. It's like, okay, but like, if you're going to do these things, why
Or
don't you just,
yeah.
there's consequences. Like, if Matt's getting shot, make it,
Hmm.
make it matter.
Hmm. If the
Like,
city, yeah, if New York City is getting taken over by Kingpin, like that's a big deal to the whole
build
world.
build up to it.
Mm.
Make it matter. Like I think of Agents of Shield, and this season reminds me a lot of Agents of Shield now. How it started out really shitty, and then just like they
The
changed
last
it
few
up.
episodes, yeah, I
They
remember. Yeah.
changed it up, and it worked really, really well because there was consequences, and
Mm.
we got to see the fallout of a lot of those
Mm.
consequences, and it just made the show. It literally made the show that
Mm.
had consequences for until
It
the
was kind of a
show's
show
end.
built on like the MCU's consequences, wasn't it? In a
Yeah.
way.
Well, first season.
Yeah.
I forget about second and third. And then
Well,
it did
there's like
its own
7
thing
seasons.
in a movie. Wait, no,
No movie, not yet.
no movie.
But
I don't
there's like
never
seven
watch.
seasons, I think. I don't think I ever watched
I
the last season. They started time traveling and like going to different
yeah,
universes, and I kind of fell off at that point.
I didn't watch season 7. It was really hard to be like I don't see the point. It was really
Yeah,
good up until then, and I'm pretty
yeah,
sure season 7 ended. It was I
had a good
heard,
ending.
yeah, I hear like it's fine. I just
Hmm.
didn't feel like I need to watch it anymore. But this show is just yeah. I'm excited for it. I'm excited for like to see like what the original team would do. Is just
I feel
I
like we're
wish
like, oh, good.
there wasn't enough work.
Mm.
There was not enough effort in writing, and it's like I would be really more excited for this storyline if there was just more work built into it, where I
Mm.
felt confident of the consequences. Like Infinity War, they built up to this moment where like the snap happened, and like we got to see the consequences of it.
Yep.
And in Endgame, we got to follow those consequences. This show really feels like kind of an Infinity War moment, but
Mm.
we didn't have
Trying to build
three
up to that.
phases. We didn't have 3 phases, you know, to build up to it. We had a season, but it really didn't build up to it. We literally had one episode, and this was the episode.
Yep, that's what it
So
feels
like, so am I excited? Yeah, because the people who wrote, the beginning and the end of the season, it was rather good. It was the best parts of the whole season.
like.
So I'm
Absolutely.
excited for that. I'm excited for them, like if they had the fresh start, they
Mm.
built the premise, can they make something exciting? Yeah. But I'm like, they don't really have much work built into it. So I'm
Mm.
kind of just I don't
We
know.
should figure out who that reporter was that called this a masterpiece. They ruined the show for us.
I really should. I don't think it really would have mattered though. I think like my opinion would have probably been
Yeah,
relatively the
well,
same.
I think like ultimately like the actual opinion would have been the same, but I think our attitude would be a lot different.
Yeah. It's like, Daredevil's back.
Yeah, it was like, oh, that was actually like we would probably be saying,
It was
oh, it's like
fun.
one of the better MCU shows that's come out in a long time.
Ooh. We're gonna do that afterwards. All right, season 2 predictions.
Hmm.
So these are some ideas I have. I think it's gonna be hero team up. I think it's Defenders. I think
I
Luke
mean,
Cage, Jessica Jones,
it's got to be right. That's the only thing
Punisher.
that makes sense.
I think it's gonna Miss Marvel shows up maybe. I don't know. Look, I think it's just gonna be a hero team up with a lot of fights. I hear rumors of Black Suit Daredevil. I think it makes sense to the vigilante.
Mm.
Better season than the first one. That's my prediction. I think it's going to be a better season.
Well, that's
Bullseye
what they want now.
Unleashed. We're getting full fucking Bullseye.
See,
We're
I
getting
think,
costume.
yeah, I could see the full costume. I think we'll get the costume, but I do think that he's going to be on the resistance side.
What if he's just another Punisher?
Just goes around, just starts taking everybody out.
Just like, and he's effective as Punisher. And it's like,
Mm.
Matt, you can't get mad at him because you're letting Punisher do his thing.
Yeah, right. That's, that's a good moral question.
Uh, Fisk and Daredevil showdown for the ages. I think that's how the show ends. Even though this is like maybe the fourth or fifth showdown we get of them.
Right.
Frank versus Bullseye. I'm predicting it. I thought it was going to happen this episode. It did not happen. It should have. AVTF villain members, meaning Bullseye or other heroes, get recruited into the team. I think that's going to be a question of who would be a good villain that we would want to join.
Hmm. Like an existing villain that's already been in the MCU.
So Netflix or MCU, good villain members.
See, the thing with the Netflix shows is they killed off all their villains for the
Did
most
they
part.
kill off? I was like thinking, I'm like, well, Muse is dead.
Yeah,
Um,
because didn't like Kilgrave dies, right?
yeah, well, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like the original Netflix show, like they killed off most of their villains. Like the Hand, I guess they never really die, but like
Elektra's.
yeah. I'm trying to remember like Luke Cage. I'm pretty sure he
I was thinking Bullseye himself. Maybe he becomes a vigilante. Maybe he tries to be the Daredevil from Fisk, for
that-
Fisk.
oh, okay. See, I still think I think the other side. I think he's gonna try to be on the Resistance.
I mean, yeah. I mean, he's the part that I'm most looking forward to,
Yeah.
and he's probably the most biggest disappointment of this episode. Is I wanted more Bullseye.
Yeah,
I wanted
I
him
agree.
unleashed.
Yeah,
I'm
we
trying
didn't
to
even
think
like really see him aside from the flashback at the end, or like the
who.
cutscene.
Ooh, the frog from She-Hulk. Forget his
Yeah.
actual name. I think it'd just be fun. A fun little like, oh, he's here. I'm trying to think who else would be good villain members. Scorpion, Homecoming.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Man, I'd be so mad if we get Spider-Man villains and no Spider-Man. We already have Kingpin. We already have the Sony universe. We don't need
They,
more Spider-Man villains without Spider-Man.
I assume we wouldn't get Spider-Man villains
Well,
without
Scorpion's
Spider-Man.
Yeah.
I would assume like just because legally speaking, you wouldn't be able. You would have to get like a crossover villain,
Mm.
like Kingpin. Yeah, I'm like short on like who would be the because in the comic books, City Rain or whatever it's called, it's on the wall somewhere. Other people join, like other villains join up with this. So I'm curious who. I just can't think of it. I'm thinking like Diamondback from Luke Cage, but I'm pretty sure he died.
That's what I'm saying. Pretty sure.
Yeah.
Like I feel like all of the like big bads from the other seasons, aside from like Fisk and Bullseye.
What? There'll be at least one. If it's not Bullseye, it's going to be at least somebody else.
There's got to be somebody else, especially if I think that Bullseye's going to be. It can't. There's got to be some more. Muse was a disappointment. We need some more action.
He's back. He's back, baby. All right. Ratings for this. We're going to do ratings for both this episode and the season.
Okay. All right.
For this episode, I gave it a 4. I thought it looked great.
Yeah.
All the fights were fun. I thought the switch up was exciting. Just thinking at the end of the day, the writing felt shallow and forced, and it was.
Very much forced. I think 4 is what I was gonna say too. Oh man, sorry.
Like it was good. It was a
Yeah,
great episode. I can't really I can't complain about it because I thought just there was so much they could have done.
yeah.
But I
It's
think
more. Most of the complaints are just because of the previous work in the season.
yeah,
Like if this was
more or
built up too
less
properly, like this would have been like the big
epic.
blowout episode. Yeah,
Oh yeah.
but just how fast it all just comes on, and it's like, oh, Kingpin's doing his thing now, and deciding to
Hmm.
kill everybody, and
All right. For the season,
mm,
is it a masterpiece? Are we giving it a 5, Brandon?
no,
No.
no,
Yeah.
no. Unfortunately, not. I really wish I was.
I I have a rating, but I don't feel great about it.
There's one thing that keeps popping in my head, and it just keeps telling me 3+.
Wow. All right. That's where I'm at.
Really? Yeah.
Dude, your ADHD intuition is yeah, it's
Mm.
3 plus. The reason why I say 3 plus because I'm like I can see if someone wanted to be like this Daredevil TV show was or this season was awful. Like it's a 2. I'm like, yeah, from a writing perspective, 2 minus, probably, maybe. Like debatably. There's some
Mm.
good moments of
When you actually
writing.
just like go through and tell the story of what actually happened, it's pretty bad.
It's
Very
not great.
disjointed and random, and
But there's some like 4 plus 5 minus moments with some of the fighting. Like it
Mm.
is, it looks great. There's some pretty cool moments. So I'm like, it's good. Mostly, there's great moments that you're like, it kind of seems like a great TV show at times.
Mm. But then you get a long therapy session with Fisk and Heather, and
Yeah,
you're
with
like,
I just think of like the heist episode where it was like, yeah, it was fun.
mm,
It's not great. It's not great anything, but it was fun. It's like a good times.
mm,
Solid 3. And then there's moments where you're like, God damn, is this the greatest TV show of all time? Like there's moments like that where like the opening
a lot
scene, I'm like,
fewer.
whole
Yeah.
whole like the first episode was like, oh my, this is it. We're getting a
Mm,
really good fucking TV show. And then it just wasn't.
mm,
And then it ended to like, wow, that could have been a great TV show if the rest of the season was actually set up for this moment. But it wasn't. So yeah, 3 plus, but I feel like the 3 plus is bad too. I think you could talk me down. Maybe it's just the 3.
yeah.
It's hard to grade because I'm like, overall, it's
Go
kind of
all
a
over
mess
the
of.
place. Yeah.
It's a mess,
Mm,
but there's great moments.
mm.
So it's like we had some great acting. We have great
Yep.
fight scenes.
I mean,
It looks great at times. It's
can you
like an
imagine if they would have
improvement.
like recast Daredevil and Punisher and stuff, and if they were just like random other actors? Like how much worse would the show have been?
Yeah, 2.
Yeah, then it would have been. It really
It,
was like carried by their performances in a lot of the
mm,
aspects.
it's if this show had great writing, this would have been a 5 minus.
Mm.
If it had the Netflix writing from before. If we had to rank this comparatively to the Daredevil Netflix show, and let's include Defenders. What's
Okay.
our ratings? And I
Well,
know
it's been a long
you.
time since I've watched Defenders.
Mhm.
Um, maybe it's just because there's more of the Netflix show, to where like it actually had like included stories and stuff like that. But I I still think the Netflix show is better.
Okay, we got to rank the seasons. There's 5 of
Oh,
them.
oh, you want me to rank them like in
Yes,
order?
rank them.
Uh, 5. Oh, including this one. Okay.
Yes, and Defenders.
Uh, all right. So starting from the bottom, the worst
Hmm.
Defenders.
Yeah.
Season 2 of the Netflix show.
Okay. Okay.
Daredevil Born Again.
Yep.
Season 1 of the Netflix show. And then from what I've understood, season 3 of the Netflix show, even though I haven't quite finished rewatching it yet.
That's more or less where I'm at. I think. I think number 5 is Defenders. I don't.
Yep.
That's a show
An
that
excuse for a show.
it's one of those shows that's like it's not. It's actually not terrible. it's just
Did
not
nothing for them.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not good. There's moments. There's a hallway fight.
Mm.
That's a good moment, right?
Yeah. They're basically just like, hey, look, they're all together now. Watch the show. Yeah,
Yeah.
without any like reason
Yeah.
or interesting moments.
I put Born Again 4.
You put that over season 2. I I really the hand
There's a
stuff in
there's a
season
there's a
2 is
cohesive story. Like it's
yeah,
boring, don't get me wrong.
yeah. That
I think
like as a whole product, I think season 2 of Netflix show is definitely more polished.
yeah,
And
that's why I have it
yeah,
higher up.
but I think this show was the interesting points were more interesting. Then again, I don't know.
Fair.
I mean, season 2 is the season with the Punisher, so maybe
Yeah.
those scenes that he does deal with.
Fisk versus Punisher,
Yeah.
Punisher versus Daredevil, him
All
just going
right.
red,
Yeah.
Matt
All right.
Murdock flirting around with Elektra instead of defending Frank and Karen.
All right. You might
Then
you
the
might be
hand shows
persuading me.
up and
Yeah.
does some random shit.
Yeah. I think maybe it's just the hand that's bad in that season, and
It
everything
is.
else
It
is
is.
good. It's just
Yeah.
an
I'm
underwhelming
not gonna
show.
fight you hard on it because I think the highs of Born Again is higher, but I think the lows are higher in season 2. Season 3 is the number one. Like
Mhm.
season 1's good. It's a cool like Kingpin Wilson Fisk origin story on top of Matt Murdock origin story. Like it was blended very well.
Mhm.
Season 3 though just ends. It's just such a good show. All right, MVC. Let's do both. Of the episode, end of the show. I think the episode, I think we can agree on who the MVC is
I really want to say it's Punisher, but I'm
for
still
the
very
episode.
yeah for the episode. For they're
Uh,
talking about this episode, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. But I just don't know if I can with that half-assed plan of just walking in there with all those cops and just
He
getting
escaped at the end. He
immediately
escaped at the end.
surrounded. I don't. That
It
doesn't
was
make
his
it better.
plan.
It's very frustrating. That
Matt
was
did
so dumb.
Matt did jack shit.
Yeah,
He's like, oh, he's
that's
like
fair.
Matt literally got shot. He walked away, not run, walked away. The entire fight scene complained about Frank killing people. And
Mhm.
really well acted, by the way. Like Charlie
Yeah.
Cox is great. I still just like, Frank, no. And then immediately
Yeah.
sorry, I just can't get over like the little one scene. It's like, dude, you're doing the same thing, just a little less degree.
Yep.
Um,
So yeah, I mean that's a fair point. That
I gave it to Frank.
yeah. So it almost makes me feel like that's not a good sign for this episode when it's like a default MVC. Because I mean he had cool scenes too, but just like yeah, if he would have went in there and like actually like lit him up, it almost felt like it was like a cheap or like a budget thing, right? Like oh, if we just have him get surrounded right away by all these cops, then we don't have to have a bunch of different scenes of him fighting them in the warehouse. And all these different,
Transitioning.
yeah. So we just do it all at once and get it over with. And
It doesn't even make sense in the beginning because it's like at the end, he's like, oh, he's escaped. But it's like, why did he get captured in the first place? If he's just immediately going to escape? Like, why would I give a fuck? Because he could have just like, oh, I saved you, Red. I'm going to go do my own thing now. And then like that's it. That's where we like saw him. Like
I would have rather seen than seen him get caught like that. And yeah, they did my
I'm
boy
not-
dirty.
I'm gonna say he's MVC, but it's not it's not a proud one. Maybe
No.
is it Ellen Page for making a phone call,
No. No,
giving him.
no.
I like how I wrote
Yeah, they're
Ellen Page
awkward.
in
Yeah,
here.
they're like
Sorry.
awkward love talk of their
All right,
love triangle.
Matt's MVC for the show, right? Like by default.
Yeah, I mean he is like the only like real character besides Kingpin in the show.
Yeah, I still have Frank Castle too because I'm just like he's the best.
Those
part
two
of the
scenes. Those two scenes.
Show. Well, the third scene you didn't like, so I'm just
Yeah,
saying
that's
like
why I said
it's
those
only
two
66% of the scenes.
Yeah.
Fisk is 3, but I'm like, even Fisk doesn't feel like a good answer.
No, most of the season he's like whiny and annoying, to be honest.
So is Matt.
Yeah, but I preferred his angry turn to like Fisk's turn, to be honest.
That's fair.
It was
All
more
right.
interesting.
MVV for the episode and then for the series.
I mean, this is easy, right?
Kingpin for the episode.
Yeah, you're not putting Kingpin for the series.
I'm putting Bullseye. He's the best
Ah,
part.
yeah, but one scene, I guess two scenes if you count like the prison break scene. Kingpin squashed somebody's head.
Yeah, that's why you got it for the episode. He didn't do jack shit the entire time. Then just like
Yeah,
fast
I didn't do
pace.
anything either though. He just had one
He
cool
killed
fight
Foggy.
scene. Yeah,
He killed Foggy.
Kingpin became mayor of New York.
And
That's pretty villainous.
he didn't do jack shit with it until the
Yeah,
very end.
Yeah, but he did do something at the end. Bullseye only did something at the beginning. Kingpin did something at the end.
He shot the hero. He shot the hero's friend.
I'm not budging on this one.
No, we got to make some changes. It has to be Bullseye.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Actually, this is how I put the MVV, by the way.
Okay.
Bank robbers for 5.
Nameless bank robbers, yes.
For 5. They were paid off.
Mm.
Muse for 4.
Could have been 6.
Vanessa for 3. Because she's kind of the kingpin of the show.
Yeah.
Kind of.
I get what you're saying.
Until they're just like, oh, they were working with each other the entire time.
Yeah.
Kingpin for 2. And then I put Bullseye for 1. But there is a cop-out answer here, Brandon. Miym.
What's the...
We could just say the Fisk as a couple.
That's true. The Fisks. I mean, they're basically one person already.
I mean, that was the cheers at the end with like the blood of like the snowy, like the white painting, which I think is actually kind of dope now. It's, I don't know, like if we put those two together, I'd be like, okay, I guess by default. I still think the most valuable villain is Bullseye, even if they didn't use him well.
I will say going through these lists makes me wonder about this season even more. Like, these were the most valuable villain, and like we're scratching the bottom of the barrel. Like, I mean,
Bank robbers, number 5.
And Muse was so bad.
All right, I got a better one for you.
Okay.
Best new characters.
That.
I do have 2.
Fisk's henchman guy and Blake. That's it, Daniel Blake. Those two.
Oh, Cashman.
Yeah.
I put BB in there. And Daniel Blake.
Yeah. Yeah, but once again, like nothing the whole
Sheila.
show, and then second to last episode gets like a moment where you're like, oh, interesting.
That was like the coolest moment of the whole show, let's be honest. BB's like little turn. Like that was like the coolest like writing moment.
But it wasn't.
That was it though.
Yeah, that was the extent of her.
I really wrote like best new character, and then I wrote none because they all kind of sucked, except for BB and Daniel Blake. Really, that's my answer. Because I'm like, Cherry sucked, Kristen sucked.
I thought, I had high hopes for Cherry at first. I thought he was going to be like, useful, and then
kind of was.
He was useful, but like only I don't know. It was just it's like they didn't know what to do with him. It's like they didn't know what to do with any of these characters.
I feel bad saying that Hector also sucked too, because rest in peace the actor who played him, and I thought he was actually really interesting, but
he did a job acting. Once again, not his fault. It was definitely a writing thing.
Yeah, they killed him off like a chump, and I'm now sad that he died in real life.
Yeah, they didn't give him anything to do. He was just like there. Like if they just would have given us, they would have given us like some scenes of him like showing it like as him being a hero, aside from just like him trying to stop
standing there
cops. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Disappointing.
There was so much of that in this. Like, season where is my rating dropping as we're talking
I
about
know, I
this
feel like
more?
that's what I've
Three
been thinking this
plus
whole time.
three, three minus.
Yeah,
Like that's how I feel
2
about it.
plus. Yeah, when we're
You
going
could
back and
talk me
talking about it.
you could talk me to a 2 plus because like the writing itself doesn't make sense. How many times? And like I understand that there's
The Viltrumite
like
knows.
the filter my nose. Like I understand that like there's different creative teams. It just doesn't excuse
No, it
the
doesn't.
season as a whole. It explains it, but it doesn't excuse it. It's a
No.
good reason for why the season's a mess. But just there's so many things that happen that just get undone to the point where I'm like, I don't feel like the people who wrote this knew what they were doing.
Mm.
Like even like the last two scenes, like oh, new creative team, like their actions don't make sense. Frank gets captured, gets released. Matt gets shot, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It's just like so many things that just like, oh, Hector, he gets saved, gets shot. It's
Yeah.
like you do all these things, this work in the season.
Is he gonna kill Cole North or not? Dies anyways.
So many inconsequential
Yeah.
stuff where it's like it just seems like you're watching an event rather than I don't know, like it's not nothing
Yeah.
important is happening.
Like the plot is just kind of happening to everybody around them.
Yeah, basically. And that's a sign of bad writing.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see what season two brings. Yeah, 3 plus, maybe we're being generous because we wanted it to be good. And like it ended on an exciting moment.
Note, yeah. Exciting is the way to put it, but it's still not necessarily like great. Definitely not masterpiece. That's all I can say about the show. Anybody else? Not masterpiece.
Not a masterpiece. I did see like they're like, oh, it's better than Netflix season two, and I'm like, is it though?
I think you convinced me otherwise. I think the ending is better than Netflix season 2.
Oh yeah,
The
Electra
finale. Yeah.
Electra dying and then coming back immediately.
Yeah. That whole.
Speaking of deaths, inconsequential deaths, at least that one had consequences, at least.
Yep. And yeah, the problem with season 2, not to get into that, but their lack of explaining anything or like making any actual sense out of what like the hand's plan is and stuff like that is a total detriment. They like try to keep it all so vague and like mysterious, but it just makes it not interesting.
True.
And that's beside the point, I suppose.
True. I mean, it's about as intricate as Wilson Fisk's plan. Or
which kind of does just get kicked into motion because of Bullseye.
Yeah. All right. Well, that is our review of Daredevil. Born Again, episode 9, Straight to Hell. Not literally straight to hell like we were hoping and talked about. No Mephisto. You know what? This season sucked because there wasn't Mephisto. Ooh, last little thing. Ratings for best MCU show. Because someone was saying that this is the best MCU show. No. I don't know if this cracks top 5.
Hit me with the top 5 real quick, and I'll tell you all I haven't seen.
Agatha number 1.
Okay. I can see that.
Loki number 2.
Okay. Yep.
WandaVision number 3. I don't really care about the rest enough for 4 and 5. Moon Knight maybe 4.
It was fun. Yeah. Although also has kind of that inconsequential feel to like the MCU.
Yeah, and that's where it's like maybe Born Again is number 4, above like Moon Knight, Hawkeye, Falcon Winter Soldier. It's like it's one of those. It's better than those kind of like I could.
The highs are better, but
the highs
all
are
of
better.
those shows are. I feel like we're much more consistent, even if they weren't like great. At least like the stories felt like. At least I guess I haven't seen Hawkeye, but
it's both relatively the same. It's fun,
but like I can't imagine that like they're as disjointed.
Yeah. I mean, if you count like Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, I don't know if I would, or X-Men, then it's definitely out of the top 5.
Oh yeah.
Or What If, I think you would have to add it ahead of Born Again.
Maybe What If season 1.
Yeah. But after that, it's just like if you go by seasons too, I'm like Loki season 1 and Loki season 2 is better than Born Again. So yeah, definitely. I would maybe put it 4. Maybe it's above Hawkeye and Moon Knight and Falcon,
Yeah.
Winter Soldier, but I'm like, just barely. I
Definitely
almost
not the
don't.
best MCU show.
I'm still trying to figure out where to put this show in just rating wise, because like the highs are high, but the
Mhm.
lows, the inconsistency makes it lower.
I
So
almost feel like you could take this whole season and like chop it up to like a long movie, and it would be
mhm.
much better.
Oh yeah,
Cut out so much of the nonsense, and it would flow way better.
wonder if they would, could have done that.
Mm.
Who knows? Who knows? All right, now we are officially ending. Thank you, Miym. We are out. Uh, this is our last until we do One Piece, whenever that is. And then from here on out, it is Last of Us season 2 on top of Andor season 2, both shows that I rated higher than this one. So, all right. Thanks, everybody. This is your host, Jake Sherbing, signing off.